Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sujeevam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhantam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम राम। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरं। हरि ओम तत्सत। Hare Krishna. So welcome to one of the interesting sessions of the Bhagavad Gita's course. Basically, we are dealing today with the modes of material nature. Modes of material nature, they affect all of us. And today's discussion is how do we deal with those modes of material nature? How do we acclimatize or adjust to the modes of material nature? We'll try to understand, is there a way to get rid of the effect of the modes of material nature? Is there a way in which we can surpass the modes of material nature? What exactly is the science of modes of material nature? All that we'll try to discuss today. After today's class, I'll be forwarding one very nice drama, which is of 20 minutes. Recorded on YouTube. Simply by seeing the drama, you'll be able to revise this entire chapter also, whatever we are discussing today. Okay, so are you all ready?
Yes.
Okay. It is good if during session people don't chant. Huh? So what we are going to discuss today, we'll try to analyze that, am I in control of everything which I do? I'm thinking I'm the doer, but am I the doer, or is there somebody else who is acting on my behalf? Because most of the times what I want to do doesn't come out in the way which I want it to come out. And then how am I responsible for my actions? What are the modes of material nature? We'll also discuss which mode is stronger, which mode we should be in, how to get along with people in different modes. This topic will be quite interesting to all of you, because all of us are surrounded by people and people are in different modes. So this is the practical application of today's class, how to work or get along with people who are in different modes, and how to get free, or can we ever get free. So today I'll be moving a little fast, and we will test our understanding towards the end. Question: who is the doer? Have you ever wondered the reason for oscillation between good mood and bad mood, high production and low production, enthusiasm and lethargy? This is something which happens with all of us on a daily basis. Sometimes we are in a good mood, sometimes we are in a bad mood. Sometimes when we try to do something, the productivity is very high. Sometimes the productivity is very low. Sometimes we are very, very enthusiastic. Sometimes we are not so enthusiastic. Point is that we are the same person with the same expertise, with the same qualification, but we are not able to perform in the same way always. How many of you think that this is a very, very valid observation which all of us have had in our life? And we are not able to perform in the same way every time. The whole world wants performance from us. Show me the performance. Sometimes the best of the people cannot deliver, and sometimes the most unexpected people end up delivering. This, when I talk about this, an instance from the Mahabharata or the Srimad Bhagavatam comes to my mind. When Krishna wound up his pastimes and went back to Nijadham, his spiritual abode, then Arjuna was entrusted with the task of taking all the queens of Krishna to Hastinapur under the protection of Yudhishthira. So at that time, Arjuna is the supreme warrior. He is undefeated in his whole life. He has defeated Indra and the other demigods, and he has equaled Lord Shiva in battle. When Arjuna was bringing these wives of Krishna, on the way he was attacked by some forest dwellers, some cowherd people, who had no weapons also. They just had some sticks with which they herd the cows. Arjuna was undefeatable by the celestial weapons and undefeated by Bhishma, Drona, and all the great Maharathis who could fight with 1,00,000 people at the same time. He was undefeated by them, but the same Arjuna got defeated by few cowherd people who came and beat him with sticks. And then at that time Arjuna was not able to lift his bow Gandiva also. Not understanding what is the problem, where has all my dexterity and where all my power and prowess has gone. He's like a superhero who got defeated by some kids, not even kids, by some ants. So we see that some things like this happen in the life of great personalities also. The scriptures say that those cowherd men were Krishna themselves. Krishna had taken the form of cowherd men and he had captured his wives. He had some other plan. However, when Arjuna returned to Hastinapur, before returning to Hastinapur, he met Vyasdev and he discussed this incident with Vyasdev. That in my life till now, I have never been defeated, and what is this? I'm not able to lift the Gandiva bow. My name was Savyasachi. I was able to fight with both hands. Both hands I used to use bow and arrow. And I was very, I was undefeatable. All the kings and all the men and all the princes of the world, they used to surrender to me. What actually happened? Why did this happen to me? So Vyasdev said that the prowess or the power or the potency which you had was a gift from Krishna. And it was given to you for a specific purpose. Now that purpose has been achieved, and Krishna has decided to remove that prowess or potency from you. He has taken it back. So Arjuna asked Vyasdev, so what should I do now? He said that now you should stop fighting because you are not that Arjuna. That Arjuna whom we all know was because of the mercy of Krishna. Now Krishna's purpose is over. So you no longer have that mercy. Now you should do Mahaprasthan. You along with your 5 brothers should quit your body and go back home, back to God. That was the suggestion of Vyasdev. So when Arjuna, when he returns to Hastinapur and Yudhishthira asks him what happened, so he mentions this verse. This is from the first canto, chapter 15, shloka number 21. Tadvai dhanush त इषव सरथो हयास्ते सोहम रथे नृपतयो यत आनमन्ति सर्वं क्षणेन तदभूद असदीश रिक्तं भस्मन् हुतं कुहकराद्धं विवोक्तं उष्याम. I have the same Gandiva bow, the same arrows, the same chariot drawn by the same horses, and I use them as the same Arjuna to whom all the kings offered their due respects. But in the absence of Lord Krishna, Isha Riktam, in the absence of Lord Krishna, all of them, the Gandiva bow, the arrows, the chariot, the horses, the power of Arjuna, all of them at a moment's notice, that means immediately, have become null and void. It is exactly like offering clarified butter on ashes. That means when I try to fight, or when I try to use my bow, or when I try to chariot my horses and use my power, then my attempts are like offering ghee on rakh. That means offering ghee on ashes, accumulating money with a magic wand, or sowing seeds on a barren land. So if you sow seeds in desert, what will happen? Nothing will come out. Similarly, if you put ghee on a place where there is no fire, what will happen? Nothing will happen. Only ash is there, so ash cannot burn in fire. Similarly, all the magicians, when they show a magic trick with a stick in their hand, they will show they are producing money, but we all know that that money was there from before only. He didn't produce any money. So basically useless things. So this happens with great people also, so what to speak of us? What we should understand from here, that all our abilities, gifts, talents, energies, prowesses are all gift from the Lord. They are all gift from Krishna. They are all belonging to Krishna, and He has given it to us on loan. For example, this mic is working because it is connected to that amplifier, and that amplifier is connected to the main switch. Everything is working, everything is moving on fine, everything is audible. If someone just pulls out the plug, then what will happen? Everything will be finished. And how much time it will take? Moment's notice. So similarly, we have been given these gifts by the energy of Krishna, by the will of Krishna, the desire of Krishna. And He can just pull out the plug, and next moment, one moment we can be the Arjuna, and the next moment we will be nobody. It can happen. Our problem is that we start thinking, oh, I am very great, I am very intelligent, I can do this whenever I want, I can do this. For example, I like doing kirtan, but for the last 1 week my throat was completely choked. So even when I wanted, I could not do kirtan. I could not chant, I could not do anything. So I was thinking that earlier I used to think that whenever I want, I can pluck those tunes and get into the raga and get into the melody and get into the meditation on the holy names of the Lord. And even in sleep I can do, even in bathroom I can do, even in car I can do. I used to think like that. And whenever I want, I can invoke the auspicious presence of the holy name of the Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. But then I realized that that is not the case. When my throat got choked, I could not chant when I want. I could not do kirtan when I want. So I realized that my chanting, which I was thinking that I am doing upakar on Lord Krishna by chanting, I realized that Krishna is doing upakar on me by allowing me to chant. So that gratitude came in my mind, that nothing is actually mine, everything belongs to Krishna. All the intelligence, knowledge, physical strength, etc. comes from Krishna. Have you understood this much? If you understand this, then you will be very humble. You will know where is your source of power. When Hiranyakashipu was standing in front of Prahlad about to kill him, And he was asking him that I am the most powerful person in this universe. How is it that you are not afraid of me when all the demigods are afraid of me? Even Narad Muni is standing like this in front of me. Why are you not afraid of me? What is the source of your power? Prahlad said that my source of power is the same source from where you get your power. So if Hiranyakashipu would have understood it, maybe we wouldn't have had the Narsimha Leela. But because Hiranyakashipu did not understand that, so therefore God had to come and kill him. So conclusion is that those who do not understand where their power, intelligence, physical strength and prowesses come from, those who are artificially thinking that I am the doer, ultimately Krishna will come as death and kill them. Now let's go and refer some verses of Bhagavad Gita which will give us some more understanding of this. You can repeat with me. Prakritehe kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of the activities which are in actuality carried out by the modes of material nature. You can make a triangle. Man desires, Krishna sanctions, material nature executes. I repeat, man or spirit soul desires, Krishna sanctions the desire, and material nature or Prakriti executes. That's how it happens. Based on the account, the karmic account balance you have, your desires will be sanctioned. For example, you want to, let's say, eat in a 5-star restaurant, which is not recommended, but this is just for discussion. So, if you go to a 5-star restaurant or a 7-star restaurant, for one meal, how much will you end up spending, approximately? Huh? 10,000 for one meal? For a few rotis and rice, spending 10,000. Now suppose if you don't have 10,000, you have only 500 rupees with you. And you are desiring. So when you desire that, let me go into this Taj Palace Hotel, Krishna will see your account, karmic account balance. Do you have the sufficient pious credits of having money with you? Only those people who have done charity in their previous life will get money in this life. Please listen to me very carefully. Only those who have done charity and have been of charitable disposition, and charity in the mode of goodness, not in the mode of passion and ignorance. Charity is also various kinds. Only those who have been charitable and charitable in the mode of goodness and have given charity to the devotees of the Lord. Charity works in proportions. If you give X amount in charity to a good man, X amount will come to you. If you give charity for to a Brahmana, then 100x will come back to you. And if you give charity to a Vaishnava, then unlimited X will come back to you. But it will come back not in this life. So no matter how much hard you work in this life, if you don't have credits, no matter how hard you work, you will not get money. That's why it is seen that some people, they are not working hard. They are not educated also, they are not intelligent also, but they have a lot of money. And some people are working 18 hours a day, struggling, breaking their head, but nothing is happening. It is all prarabdha karma from the previous life, basically. The point which I am trying to say is, when this person is desiring, I want to go to the 5-star hotel, Krishna will check his pious credits. It is not there. So Krishna will not sanction it. And so the material nature will not execute it. Another case, person has some pious credits. That means he has the money, but he does not have the pious credit to digest. Digestion is also a gift from God, you know. Some people who can digest everything, they are also some pious people only. It's called Jatragni. Krishna in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita says that I am the Jatragni, I am the fire which digests everything in the stomach. Imagine if Krishna switches off that fire. Your whole life will be useless. You cannot eat anything. You will be dead. So suppose someone goes, the prakriti which they have is of a human body. And 50% pious credit is there that, okay, you have 10,000 rupees. You can enter. But the remaining credit of digesting what he eats is not there. So although he is desiring, Krishna is sanctioning only 50%. Material nature is not executing it. So he will suffer by eating in the restaurant. Now let's say you have a demigod body, you don't have a human body. So the prakriti of a demigod is different from the prakriti of a human being. Now if a demigod decides to enter the Taj Palace, imagine if Indra comes. The description of Indra is that when he comes, he doesn't touch the land. He is always above the land, flying in the air. And his dress is always fully ironed, steam ironed. And you cannot find even one speck of dust in his dress. And the fragrance which he uses is not available on earth. And Indra is very good looking also. When he will come, probably those who do not understand Krishna consciousness, they will think that Indra is the Supreme Personality. That's why all the Apsaras are surrendering to him. So if he enters the hotel, everybody will stop everything and they all will come standing like this, come. And Indra will control everybody's mind and he will tell, I want this, I want that. And you can eat one plate, but Indra's prakriti is such that even if he eats 1,000 plates, he will not have digestive problems. So you see how the prakriti executes. Another example. I want to lift my hand. So I am desiring to lift my hand. Krishna is sanctioning this desire, and material nature, my prakriti, is allowing me to lift my hand. The work is being done by whom? Material nature, prakriti. Ordered by whom? Krishna. Desired by whom? Me, spirit soul. Now suppose Krishna does not allow, he does not sanction that from today Acyuta Arjunasakha Das should not raise his right hand. Then what will happen? My hand will get paralyzed. And after that, no matter how much I desire, I wish to raise my hand, I wish to raise my hand. But the material nature will not execute anything without Krishna's desire. Are you able to understand? Another example. Bird wants to fly. You want to fly. Demigod wants to fly. 3 souls with 3 different material natures, prakritis, having the same desire. When bird wants to fly, what will it do? It has the prakriti of flapping the wings, then it can fly. When it desires, Krishna sanctions, and then it flies. Recently I saw that there was a pigeon who got inside a dustbin, and in the dustbin there was some rope, small rope, thread or something. And while jumping in the dustbin, somehow the legs of the pigeon got entangled in the rope, so that he was not able to move his legs. Now it is very difficult for a bird to fly and land and walk and eat when both the legs are tied. So although that pigeon was trying to fly, but it was not able to fly. And other pigeons, when they were trying to fly, they were able to fly. So in that pigeon's case, the sanction was not there. due to whatever reason. Now that sanction comes as a paralysis, or that sanction comes as an external threat, or that sanction comes as a bigger vulture bird chopping off the head of the pigeon, whatever. It's not able to fly. Similarly, when as a human being, when I desire to fly, then what happens? I have to sit in an aeroplane, and I have to sit in a congested way for 3 hours, 4 hours, stand in the queue for 1 hour. That is my misery. But I can fly higher than the bird. I can fly from one city to another city. Prakriti is different, so I am doing things differently. Desire is same. Now when a demigod wants to fly, he flies in the intergalactic space. He can fly from one planet to another planet. Same flying, but the Prakriti is different. Spirit soul is, all the spirit soul is part and parcel of Krishna. We cannot say that the spirit soul of a bird is lesser than the spirit soul of a human being. No, all are part and parcels. But based on the Prakriti, the execution is happening. Are you able to understand? So we desire, God sanctions, material nature or Prakriti executes. This much if you have understood, I can move forward. So the conclusion is that there is nothing that I can do without the help of Prakriti. Now I have put these 3 Matajis in the picture. Blue Mataji, red Mataji, yellow Mataji. In the Vedic literature, the modes of material nature are shown through these 3 Matajis. They are the modes of material nature, and they control all our actions. But you see, above them there is something. There is something which controls them also. That we will realize when we move a little further. So now the question is that if everything is done by material nature, then what is my role in it? Desire. Very good, very good. You are not the doer, but you are responsible for your actions. Many people will say this is unfair. Somebody may say, I was in the mode of ignorance and by mistake I ended up committing this murder. And you can stand in front of the judge and say, Prakritehe kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyata. Although it looks like I have murdered, but actually I have not murdered. The mode of ignorance has murdered. So I should not be punished. Is this a valid argument in front of the judge? No, it's not a valid argument. Although you did not execute it, it is true. That the strength of your muscles in your hand, they executed when you put the knife inside. However, you desired it. So you are being punished for the desire which you have. That's why we should be very focused on what kind of desires we are harboring. Srila Prabhupada was asked, what is the most important thing to go back home, back to Godhead? Srila Prabhupada answered, desire. You should have desire to go back home, back to God. Similarly, desire is very important. The kind of desires, the material desires we cultivate, they will force us to take birth again. And if we cultivate spiritual desires, they will take us back home, back to Godhead. So desire is very important. So make sure what you are desiring when you are desiring. Okay, so here is a glimpse from the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which gives an even more clear picture that definitely I am not the doer. Adhishthanam tatha karta karanam cha prithak vidham vividhascha prithak cheshta daivam chaivatra paschamam. The place of action, that is the body, where the action is happening. The performer, that is the soul. The various senses, which is based on the Prakriti, and the many different kinds of endeavor, which is based on the samskaras, and ultimately the super soul, Krishna. These are the 5 factors of action. That means anything which you do, 5 things are affecting it. What are they? The body which you have, the soul, your soul, which is desiring, the various sensory perceptions which you have, the different kinds of endeavor, motivations, and samskaras which you have, and ultimately Krishna. These 5 factors influence every action. Now, out of these 5, which is the most important? Krishna, yeah. So you can do everything right, but if Krishna doesn't want, it will not happen. Srila Prabhupada explains this, that 2 workers, or he says 2 scientists, in the same lab, with the same equipments, with the same efficiency, with the same amount of hours and facilities, coming from the same college, trained by the same professor, but one person becomes successful in getting a breakthrough and another person is not successful. Why? Because one person's breakthrough is sanctioned by Krishna and one person's breakthrough is not sanctioned by Krishna. So therefore sometimes it is seen, even when the body is healthy, even when the soul is fully conscious, even the sensory perception is aligned, even when the endeavor is properly directed, if Krishna doesn't want, it doesn't happen. And sometimes it is also seen, even when the body is unhealthy, even when the soul is sleeping, even when the sensory perception is deluded, and even if the endeavor is not fully focused, sometimes we get success. We say, Allah Meherban to Gadha Pahalwan. If Krishna becomes merciful on you, then you will dance on everybody's head in the desires which you have. So this thing we have to understand. So as a devotee, what should be my approach in doing various things? Can we understand what Krishna wants? My dear Lord Krishna, I am going to do this project. Please tell me what you want. And Krishna will tell, yes, my dear, this is my desire. I will be very grateful to you if you follow my desire. Will Krishna speak like that? No. We have to understand what is the Lord's plan. So, and the Lord does not reveal His plan, that this is my plan. The Lord just says, this is the next step. And when you go to the next step, the Lord will say, that is the next step. So we can understand the Lord's plan through the devotees and by reading the scriptures. When we read the Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavatam, when we practice it, when we preach it, when we have a good character and good behavior, then Krishna gives us some hints via which we can understand that what Krishna wants from us. And after that, still we have a choice. Whether we will follow it or not follow it, that is our choice. If we follow it, we become glorious and unentangled. We rise above the modes of material nature. And if we don't follow it, then we get entangled and then we go into the prison of this material nature. For example, have you seen an ant? If an ant is walking and if you put your phone like this, what will the ant do? It will change the path. The ant never, so devotees should be somewhat like that. Devotees should be very eager to make plans for the service of Krishna. But if Krishna doesn't want, he'll put some obstacle. And then devotees should adjust the plan. Consult with devotees and understand what needs to be done. Devotees will say, okay, try in this way. Or some devotees will say, okay, don't execute, take some other project. So we have to be very flexible. Because we have to do ultimately what Krishna wants. The Pandavas, they wanted something else. But ultimately they did what Krishna wants. Especially the killing of Bhishma Dev. Was Arjuna in agreement with the way Bhishma Dev was killed? No. But Krishna wanted it, so he had to do. So Arjuna had some other plans, but Krishna blocked that path. So Arjuna became flexible, malleable, and he did it the way Krishna wanted it. So that is what we have to do. So the understanding that Krishna is the supreme cause of everything. Now you see, in the previous picture I showed only the 3 Matajis. But now you see, there is somebody above the 3 Matajis also. So the supreme cause of everything, Sarva Karana Karanam, is Krishna. Everything which is happening in our life is due to the intervention of Krishna. Is it clear this much? Now, how many things are trying to influence us? That is karma. But generally, environment, mind, intelligence, modes of nature, these are trying to influence us. Any activity which we do, the environment in which we are influences us. Suppose you are sitting here, it's a clean place. As soon as you enter the temple, you feel some positive vibes, and then you try to come in a different mood altogether. Suppose if this room is very dirty, things are thrown around, some frogs and some snakes are there. Will you feel the way you are feeling now? You will not feel. Similarly, mind. Mind also influences you. Intelligence also influences you. Another factor which we are adding, the modes of nature also influence you. Just like when you try to buy a product, there are many factors which influence you. Family influences you. Advertisements influence you. Colleagues influence you. Of course, your bank balance will influence you. These days, people have gone mad. They don't listen to their bank balance. They straight away take a loan. That's why there are so many problems. And the existing payments which you have to make, that will influence you. So our actions depend on various factors, but the final decision is ours. Always remember that we are responsible. We cannot say that I was put into such a situation, so I ended up doing it. No, the final decision is always ours. So now let's try to understand the modes of material nature. There are three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. In this slide, I have put some photos. You see goodness. This girl is there. She is not in a hurry, and she is playing with a nice cat, with a leaf. Sunrise is there, garden is there. I don't know whether this defines mode of goodness or not, but it seems like mode of goodness. This is mode of passion. This picture will describe what the mode of people in mode of passion are trying to do. One person is trying to overpower another at any cost, and there is a strong urge, a burning desire which is burning my entire existence. That hankering is there to get something, and lamentation is there for things which I am not going to get. And ignorance, I have just described it by putting a photo of a person in the bar. You see, simply sitting and drinking and going to sleep. So what is goodness? You can note down these verse numbers, and as a homework you can go and read the translations and the purports. And we can recite this also. Mukta sango naham vadi dhritya utsaha samanvitah siddhya asiddhayor nirvikarah karta satvika uchyate. One who performs his duty without the association with the modes of material nature, without false ego, with great determination and enthusiasm, and without wavering in success or failure, it's said to be a worker in the mode of goodness. See the conditions. Without false ego, that means he does not think that I am the doer. With a lot of determination, he or she is sticking to the work. Success may come, failure may come, but the determination and the enthusiasm doesn't go down. That means it is indirectly being hinted that the person in mode of goodness is not motivated by the results. That is the understanding. And what is happiness in the mode of goodness? Yattadagre visham iva pariname mritopamam tat sukham satvikam proktam atma buddhi prasadajam. That which in the beginning may be just like poison, but in the end just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization, is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. So when you are getting some kind of experience which is like very difficult, but you know that in future it will be very, very pleasant. For example, getting up early in the morning and having bath. Especially in this climate, how many of you are loving it? I really love to wake up at 4 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. and go into the bathroom and put room temperature water, no geyser on your body, and you love it. Like I was waiting when alarm will ring and I will do it. It's very difficult. It's not easy. Especially when all this viral fever and bacterial infections are going on, throat choke, cough, cold, chest congestion. In such circumstances, it is difficult to do. So, but imagine if you have done it, and at 4:30 a.m. you are sitting in front of the altar, seeing the Mangalarti. Will you feel happy? But that happiness was initially like poison. But in the end, it is like nectar. Sorry. And it awakens one to self-realization. That is happiness in the mode of goodness. When you try to wake up early, nobody likes it. Everybody's body is tired. And everybody thinks, let me sleep for another 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But if you do not listen to your mind and if you get up, that act of getting up is like poison. But what is the result of it? Atma buddhi prasadajam. You get self-realization. And that self-realization is nectar, amrit. So this is happiness in the mode of goodness. Now let's discuss passion. What is work in the mode of passion? Ragi karma phala pripsur lubdho himsatmako shujihi harsha shokanvitah karta rajasah parikirtitah. The worker who is attached to the works and the fruits of the work. In mode of goodness we saw, irrespective of success and failure, with enthusiasm and with determination, rising above the modes of material nature and freed from false ego, one is executing the work. But in mode of passion, it is completely result-oriented. Have you heard this terminology somewhere? Result-oriented. We want results. We want results. So the worker who is attached to the work and the fruits of the work, desiring to enjoy those fruits. So you are doing something, you will get some result. Generally the result is some compensation or some salary. And if I have a desire to enjoy that salary, with that salary I'll purchase a nice car, I'll purchase a nice house, I'll purchase this, I'll purchase that. And after that what I'll do, I'll sit and enjoy. And then I'm very greedy for it also. I want more and more and more. Ye dil mange less. Sorry. Ye dil mange more. And because I'm desiring to do sense gratification. See, what is all this? Being attached to the fruits of work and desiring to enjoy the fruits is nothing but sense gratification. Now, it is very clear, as we learn from Srimad Bhagavatam, sense gratification leads to enviousness. If you want to find out Why am I envious, or what is the root cause of this envious, and how can I remove my enviousness, my jealousy? Reduce your indriya tripti, reduce your sense gratification, and you will see enviousness is also going away. So you see, it's a very scientific statement. Krishna is not just speaking just like that. So one who is attached to the work and the fruits of the work, both, desiring to enjoy the results of the work, and who is very greedy, that person will always be envious. And envious people cannot be in the mode of goodness. They'll be impure, they'll be dirty. If you go to their room, things will be thrown around. Simply by seeing how they have arranged their table or their room or the cupboard, you can understand what kind of consciousness or in which mode they are. Once I was very new in Krishna consciousness, and I had just got inside the ISKCON hostel and I was going to sleep. So I just opened my shirt and I just threw it like this in a corner. And I fell on the bed. My senior, he saw that and he said, "This is not good. This shows that your consciousness is not good. And if you continue doing this, you will never be able to attend Mangalartis and you will never be able to chant Hare Krishna." So that was the first lesson which I got. He told me that you have to fold your clothes and keep it at its place. You cannot keep it on the floor, you cannot keep it on the cupboard, you cannot keep it somewhere. Understand where is the place to keep it. And then he told me that if you are able to understand that there is no place to keep this, then you should not have that with you, you should throw it off. So generally when I am also training some students, I train them like this. I have made a rule that nothing should be there on the floor. Floor should be, because if more the number of things are there on the floor, people feel lazy to broom and clean and mop. If floor is empty, how much time will it take to clean a room? 1 minute, 2 minutes, maximum. But if floor is full of so many things, this person's bag, that person's laptop, this person's XYZ, blah, 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 and it's a task to remove those things first. So first rule is that nothing should be on the floor. If anything is found on the floor, we confiscate it. And we return only after 1 week. And second thing, everything should be kept at its designated place. The mop should go at the designated place. The plate should go at the designated place. And if you cannot find a designated place for something, throw it off. And we have thrown also. Every week we do this activity and we pick up few things and we ask, do you have a place to keep it? Do you know where to keep it? No, we don't know. Throw it off. We really throw it. And after throwing it, we enjoy. We feel we are so light. How many of you have gone on a long travel with a very light baggage? You felt very liberated, no? I've seen people going on a 2-day yatra or a 3-day yatra with 3 suitcases. That is miserable. Similarly, all of you can do this activity. Every week, throw out something from your cupboard which you think you really don't need. And after 6 months, you'll be a happy person. Because you'll be very light. And whenever you want to go somewhere, you just have one bag and you can travel. This consciousness is called Krishna consciousness. Because only when your mind does not need the space to deal with so many things, only then your mind has some space where Bhagavad Gita can enter and Krishna can enter. If your mind is busy with so many possessions, and anyways, there's no hope that we can think, or I can think, that these possessions belong to Krishna. There's no hope. There's very less chance. So therefore, a Krishna conscious person either should practice having simple living, high thinking, of having very less possessions, or if the Krishna conscious person has become advanced enough, then he or she should practice to see that everything in his or her possession belongs to Krishna. Choice is yours. Either you be a Mahabhagavat or you be a minimalistic person. Choice is yours. Either you should really feel that this laptop is not mine, this is Krishna's. This hall belongs to Krishna. This amplifier belongs to Krishna. This sweater belongs to Krishna. You should really feel like that. That other than the two lotus feet of Krishna, nothing belongs to me. Then you are an akinchana. Then you may be the king of the whole world, but those possessions will not affect you. But if these possessions are affecting you, just look at me. I have 3 cars and my neighbor has only 2. Cheap. Shame on him. If this kind of thought process is coming, that means you are an idiot. So therefore you should practice minimalism. Every week, open your cupboard, throw out few things. Throw means donate. Don't throw, donate. Donate and see, let's say if you find some, you opened your cupboard and you saw 10 lakh rupees which you don't need, and you can bring it and donate it here. That's what I meant. You opened your cupboard and or in your house you found a wall clock which you don't need, and then you can donate it to the temple. Something like that. Actually, real charity means to give things which you are very attached to. Third grade charity means, I don't need this shirt, I don't need this bed sheet, I don't need this video game, so I will just donate it. Like I used to donate. My father bought me a video game, so the older video game I donated to my younger brothers and sisters. So similarly, when I got a new watch, I donated my old watch. But that is not called donation. Charity means to give things to which you are really attached to. The whole purpose of charity is to break the detachment or to break the attachment. For example, everybody is attached to money. Everybody wants money. This is a very clear fact. Now, how we will practice detachment from money? Only when we slowly and steadily make a habit every month to give some donations in charity, out of which I am not benefited, but Krishna conscious projects are benefited. Then when slowly when you will continue doing this 1 month, start with 1%, then go to 5%, then go to 10%, and then sky is the limit. Srila Prabhupada says that 50% of the earnings should be reserved for using in Krishna's seva, which includes your home deity worship, which includes your bhoga offering, which includes taking care of guests and the devotees who come to your house, etc. Overall, 50% should be used in Krishna's service. 25% should be used in relatives and families' service. And 25% should be reserved, untouched every month. This is the calculation which the acharyas give. Because in bhakti, atyahara is also harmful. There are 6 things which destroy bhakti. Atyahara prayashascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulyamcha shadbhir bhaktir vinashyati. Over collection and overeating, atyahara. These 2 things, they destroy your bhakti. If you have more funds than what you need, and if you overeat, then you cannot do bhakti. Prayashas. If you are unnecessarily endeavoring to get something which is very materialistic and trying very hard for it, that will also destroy your bhakti. Prajalpa. If you are doing gossip, what this person said, what that person said, what Rahul Gandhi said, what Narendra Modi said, what she said, what he said, what this devotee said, what that devotee said. If you do this gossip, you cannot chant Hare Krishna. Niyamagraha. If somebody is ignoring all the rules and regulations mentioned in the scriptures, or following those rules and regulations just for namesake, that is also not going to help you in bhakti. It will harm your bhakti. Janasangas. Spending a lot of time with worldly minded people. People who have no interest in Krishna consciousness, whose aim of life is to do sense gratification. And if we spend a lot of time with them, it will destroy our bhakti. Janasangascha laulyamcha. Laulyam means excessive greed. I'm very greedy. Greedy means mode of passion. That will destroy the bhakti. So one has to regulate these 6 things. Okay, so Coming back to the definition, the worker who is attached to the work of and the fruits of the work, desiring to enjoy those fruits, who is greedy, always envious and impure, and is very much moved by joy and sorrow, is said to be in the mode of passion. Moved by joy and sorrow means if you ask them to do something, everything, they are very moody and very temperamental. Based on their mood, they will do. If their mood is not, they will not do. If their mood is, they will do. Like that. There is no discipline in their life. And if they get a happy news, they will do it very nicely. If they get a sad news, they will not do it nicely. That is called mode of passion. Mode of goodness is beyond these things. And what is happiness in the mode of passion? Vishayendriya samyogad yattadagre amritopamam pariname vishamiva tatsukham rajasam smritam. That happiness which is derived from the contact of the senses. In the mode of goodness, the happiness was coming by something else. But in the mode of passion, happiness is coming when the sense and the sense objects come in touch with each other. And which appears like nectar at first, but poison in the end, is said to be of the nature of passion. Something which looks initially, it will give me so much happiness. But in the end, it's like poison. That is called happiness in the mode of passion. Can you give me some examples of things which seem to be very happy in the beginning, but in the end, they are just like poison?
Too much of money, too much of income.
Too much of income. Initially it looks like, I will do this, I will do that, I will do this, I will do that, I will do this, I will do that. But then you realize that I can eat only 2 rotis. And because of the stress of earning that money, my digestion has become weak. And then I cannot eat also. What's the point of earning money? And then to hide that frustration, people say, I'm earning for my grandson. I'm earning for my later generations. And later generations are useless people. If your son or grandson is a good character person, why you need to earn money? And if your son or grandson is not of a good character, then why you need to earn money? You understand the point? If your family members are good character, why you need to earn money? And if they are not of good character, then what's the point of earning money? Correct. See, he gave me the shloka. So, any other example? Anything which is happiness in the beginning but poison in the end?
Too much tasty food.
Too much tasty food. Spicy food, you should say. Sizzling food. For example, I will give my example, I will not take your example. My example is I am having a sore throat. Happiness in the mode of passion means eating an ice cream in this condition. And when I eat it, when I put it on my tongue, the various flavors which are there in it will burst. And they will go to the various sense organs on the tongue. I will feel sweet, I will feel little salty, I will feel creamy, and I will feel tasty at the same time. But when it goes inside my esophagus, and when it rubs it over the tonsils, and after 2 hours when my coughing and fever and body pain will increase, that is happiness in the mode of passion. 5 minutes it gave me so much happiness, but next 5 days, misery. So how this happiness arose? This happiness arose because of contact of the sense objects. ये ही संपर्श जाप होगा दुख योनय एवते. Too much expectation, yes. But how does it give you happiness in the beginning? Yeah, when a person becomes a fool and he expects too much from others and less from himself, and he thinks that everybody will fulfill their expectation, yeah. I think that is ignorance, not even passion. Because it is seen that those who have too much expectation from others, they expect very high qualification from others and very less from themselves. They are very strict with others and lenient with themselves. Have you seen that? That is lower than passion also. Passion means like you want to lead from the front. I am the king, I'm the leader. I should be the best in the team. That is passion. And to lead a team, you really have to have low expectations from others. That's how you can keep the team together.
Too much of tasty food.
Already answered.
Spicy food.
Already answered. So anything which is arisen because of the sense perceptions, the sense of sight, the sense of smell, the sense of touch, the sense of taste, and the sense of hearing. Anything which makes you happy immediately when it comes in contact with these five senses is happiness in the mode of passion. Because it gives rise to misery in the end. Always remember, write it in bold. Sense gratification leads to frustration. You can write it. Sense gratification leads to frustration. It doesn't lead to happiness. Anything, the sense of taste or the sense of touch or the sense of smell, which you are trying to gratify now, will lead to frustration.
Too much or
Little bit also will lead, too much will also lead. Too much will lead earlier, little bit will lead. Like regulated sense enjoyment is more, what can I say?
like smoking? A little bit of smoking, but later.
Yeah, it will cause a problem. All addictions are bad. Now let's come to ignorance. Ayuktah prakritah stabdhah shatho naishkrito ullasah vishadi dirgha sutri cha karta tamasa uchyate. What is work in the mode of ignorance? This, many of us will feel that, this we already know. The worker who is engaged in work against the injunctions of the scripture. Bhagavad Gita says something, I am doing opposite. Bhagavatam says something, I am doing opposite. The worker engaged in work against the injunctions of the scripture, who is very materialistic, who is very obstinate, who is always cheating, and who is expert in insulting others, who is lazy, always morose and procrastinating, is said to be a worker in the mode of ignorance. Many of us are smiling. I know this is like, the other two definitions were foreign, but this is like native. We feel, ये तो हम ही हैं. So yeah, this is the definition of a worker in the mode of ignorance. Not following the Shastra, very materialistic, very obstinate, cheating, very good at insulting others. All that Saas-Poos serials, soaps, they are all in the mode of ignorance. Because you see all these serials, all the men and the ladies, they are expert at insulting others. Have you seen? And there was a point of time, I think 98 to 2004, that time, whole family used to sit and see these serials. And they used to come, I think, daily also. No? Daily it was coming. So daily dose of mode of ignorance. Excuse was, क्योंकि सास भी कभी बहुत थी. और कहानी है घर घर की, something like that. And as a result of that, people became very materialistic. They became spiritually dull, no spiritual ambitions, only material ambitions. They became lazy, and everything was procrastinating. Let's do it tomorrow, let's do it tomorrow, let's do it tomorrow. That was their desire.
What is morose?
Morose means all the time sad and all the time unhappy. They'll never, whenever you meet them, वो लोग रोते रहते हैं. They're always crying only. How are you? अरे सब खराब है. That is career. So what is happiness in the mode of ignorance? यदग्रे चानुबन्धे च सुखं मोहनमात्मनः निद्रालस्य प्रमादोत्थं तत्तामसम् उदाहृतम्. And that happiness which is blind to self-realization, which is delusion from the beginning to the end, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion, is said to be of the nature of ignorance. I hope you noted down all these 6 verses. Work in mode of goodness, happiness in mode of goodness. Work in passion, happiness in mode of passion. Work in ignorance, and happiness in ignorance. So some things I'm not going to cover, I'll leave it for you to read. Just like work or happiness is in different modes, food also comes in different modes. You can note down the shloka numbers, chapter 17, shloka number 8, 9 and 10. Food in the mode of passion, food in the mode of ignorance, food in the mode of goodness. Similarly, charity in the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, and austerity in the mode of goodness, passion and ignorance. Krishna has described everything. So if somebody is becoming happy while sleeping, very happy. I had a friend of mine who had a rule that every day, Monday to Friday when we have school, he will wake up at a particular time. But on Saturday and Sunday, he will wake up at 10 a.m. I remember I went to his house at 8 a.m. to play. And then he also, when he saw that I have come, he got ready and he came with everything and we were like going out to play. And then he saw the watch. He said, it's only 8 a.m. I wake up at 10 a.m. on Saturday. That is my happiness. And then he actually went in the bed again. I had to go and find some other people to play with. So I am able to realize that that is the mode of ignorance. That's why it is seen that those who are in the mode of ignorance, they are generally very lazy. Illusion in these days is called as depression. So those who are in illusion or depression, they also, if you will analyze, they will sleep a lot. Generally people who are in illusion or in the mode of ignorance, they have a tendency to sleep a lot. And Srila Prabhupada in the Bhagavad Gita purports says that anybody who sleeps more than 6 hours is definitely in the mode of ignorance. And the nonsense doctor will not understand this. He will say your 8 to 10 hours sleep is very necessary. Because the doctor doesn't know the Ayurvedic cycle. So according to Ayurveda, if you sleep at 9 p.m. and if you wake up at 3 a.m., it is equivalent to sleeping for 10 hours. Because 1 hour of sleep before midnight is equal to 2 hours of rest for the body. The earlier you wind up, the more fresher you will feel when you start your day tomorrow. And the later you wind up, the more exhausted you will feel. That's why it is said early to bed, early to rise makes man and woman both healthy, wealthy and wise. It's a truth. So keeping that in mind, Srila Prabhupada has said that anybody who sleeps more than 6 hours is definitely in the mode of ignorance. So what we should do, we should try to adjust our life in such a way so that we can have more time for Krishna. We should analyze that out of the 18 hours we have, how many hours I'm actually giving for Krishna consciousness. There are three kinds of devotees. One devotee who is chanting Hare Krishna, but who is not very sincere and serious, he or she will take many, many lifetimes to go back home, back to Godhead. Because the heart cleansing is not tivra, not intense. Such kind of devotees are called Swanishtha devotees. The Acharyas say that Swanishtha devotees give 6 hours out of 18 hours for Krishna Bhakti. Second category are those devotees who are going to go back home, back to Godhead at the end of their life, this life only. They are called as Paranishta devotees. And the Acharyas say that 12 hours out of their 18 hours they dedicate for Krishna consciousness. And the third category is the very intense devotees, the Nirapeksha devotees, who even before their death attain the lotus feet of Krishna. They give 18 hours for Krishna consciousness. Now let us analyze in which category we are. We have a separate category, do you know? So out of 18 hours, how much time do I devote for Krishna consciousness? 15 minutes? Half an hour? And when I'm asked, oh, where you'll go, Prabhu? After, Goluka. Not even Vaikuntha, Goluka. 30 minutes a day, 1 hour, Goluka. Going back to Godhead is not eating an ice cream. It requires tapasya. It requires purification of heart. It requires a lot of humility. It requires giving up of false ego. It requires cleansing of the heart. Those who are not serious, it will take many, many lifetimes. Those who are serious, it will take one lifetime. And those who are very intense, they will attain faster. So the process will definitely work. You have begun chanting Hare Krishna, your destination is fixed. Some of them are on a highway, running very, very fast. Some of them are on the ring road. And some of them are in the city traffic. Ultimately all will reach. But choice is yours, which path you want to take. Many lifetimes, one lifetime, or even before death. It all depends on our sincerity and seriousness. Realization means to realize that the name of Krishna is not different from Krishna. So therefore, the primary activity which I have, or the most important activity which I have, is to sit and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. And if this is the most important activity of my day, I should do everything which is humanly possible from my side to make this activity distraction-free, disturbance-free. That means I should chant in the Brahma Muhurta, where no guests come, no phone calls come. That means I should sleep early so that I don't feel tired during my japa. Also, my japa depends on the consciousness I had on the previous days. Japa is not a 2-hour activity. Japa is the kind of work which you do throughout the day. If throughout the day you have been engaged in evil, sinful and wicked activities, and but obvious tomorrow's japa is going to be horrible. Material desires will come up while doing japa. So therefore, I have understood that Krishna is not different from his holy name, at least theoretically, and I am hankering for that day when Krishna will reveal himself to me as his holy name, Nama, then Rupa, then Guna, and then Leela, he will reveal. So I do everything from my side to make my japa as the most prominent activity. Even if the whole world is on fire, I don't step out of my house before completing my rounds. This is called giving respect to Krishna. इसको कहते हैं भगवान का सम्मान. Not that I did one round, then I threw my japmala, and then again when I got time I do another 2 rounds, and then I... We are not supposed to be like that. So therefore, we have to decide how serious we want to be. Take it from me, and I am taking it from the Acharyas. The human form of life is not meant for doing anything else other than Krishna consciousness. Some people realize it, some people don't realize it, some will realize it now, some will realize it 10 years later, some will realize it at the time of death. But definitely you will realize before quitting the body. So how much time you want to invest is your choice. This time investment will actually help you, and all other time investments will cheat you. Think about any other time investment which you are doing anywhere else. It's all going to cheat you at the end. You will not be able to use it. You will not be able to capitalize on it. You will not be able to encash it. But only spiritual investment will help you. And I'm not joking. You can try it out for yourself. I'm not discouraging. I'm telling you the reality. You may build a very big skyscraper, but it will not help you at the time of death. It will not help you. You may earn a lot of money, it will not help you. I am not discouraging you from earning money. Earn money and give donation. We'll build a temple, no problem. But don't keep earning money as the main goal of your life. Attaining Krishna should be the main goal of your life. And for meeting your needs and not what you want. An intelligent person knows the difference between my needs and my desires, my needs and my wants. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that to my devotees I carry what they need and I preserve what they have. So a pure devotee is not bothered on it. But yes, whatever I need, Krishna will give. We are aspiring to go to Golok Vrindavan. In Golok Vrindavan, everybody is like this only. So first we have to, in order to enter fire, we have to become like fire. So it's very important to be serious in Krishna consciousness. And that seriousness comes from regular chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the regular reading with absorption of the books of Srila Prabhupada, regular service and association in the devotee community, and offering and honoring of Krishna Prasad. These are the 4 things which are necessary. So now the next question is, which mode are you in? So there's no such thing as pure goodness, pure passion, or pure ignorance. Everybody is a combination. Somebody will feel I'm 60% ignorance, 20% goodness, 20% passion. Somebody will feel I'm 50% goodness, 30% passion, 20% ignorance. So different combinations make different varieties. When I said that there are 4 lakh species of human life, what did I mean? That there are 4 lakh combinations of mode of passion, mode of goodness, and mode of ignorance, which are displayed in the human species. That's what I meant. 4 lakh combinations are possible in the human species. Other combinations are possible in lower species or higher species. But in the human species, 4 lakh combinations are possible with this mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Now you can understand, if in a palette, if you mix red more, then it will be reddish. If you mix yellow more, it will be yellowish. If you mix blue more, then it will be bluish. Like that. Now, a tip of the day is to understand that Krishna is the cause of all causes. Don't be puffed up by borrowed plumes. That means don't be puffed up by your process, talent, energies, abilities. They are all coming from Krishna. Because without Krishna's sanction, nothing is possible. Material civilization, listen to this is directly coming from Srila Prabhupada's purport. Material civilization without the blessing of the Lord is child's play only. You are making so many Panchvarshya Yojanas, you are building so much infrastructure, you are targeting so much economic development. But if Krishna doesn't bless it, sanction it, if Krishna doesn't want it, or if it is not being done for Krishna, then it's like child's play. For example, look at this child. From the beginning of the session, he is holding a pen and he is holding a book. And some drawing he is making, some scribbling he is doing. What is the value of that? No value. Similarly, if this child I take on a sea beach, I'll take him to Rameshwaram, Dhanushkoti, a very nice sea beach, very beautiful sea beach, where Indian Ocean and Bay of Bengal are meeting. And then what this child will do there? He will start making shivling or some castles or some... And then one wave of sea will come and everything will be broken. So as long as the parent of this child will allow him to make those sand castles, he can do. The moment the parent will say, let's go, everything is finished. Similarly, material civilization, which is not God-centric, which is not centered for the enjoyment or the happiness of Krishna, is like child's play. As long as Krishna will allow us to do, we will build our skyscraper, we will build our Panchvarsha Yojanas, we will build our economic development. Time has come, everything will finish. That is material civilization. Forget about us. Think about the great Rajrishis. It is mentioned, not even Rajrishis, even in Kali Yuga. In Hampi, the people were so rich at one point of time that just like in Sabzi Mandi, they sell tomato, aloo, gobi, nimbu. Like that, they used to sell diamond, corals, rubies on the streets. Where is that king now? Where is his kingdom? Where is his palace? Where are those diamonds? All gone. Tell me the name of a great king. Where is he? He was the king of Hampi. Where is he? Where is his kingdom? Where are his horses? Where are his elephants? Any other king? So no matter, how many of you think that you can really become more rich than Krishna Deva Raya? And see his condition now. Where is he? Nobody knows. Of course, he was a Vaishnava. He was the only king who built 500 temples within his kingdom. So he was a Vaishnava. He must be engaged in Krishna's seva somewhere else. But where is the material civilization, the material wealth which he created? The material infrastructure which he created? Where is he? All gone, all finished. So when you look at it from this point of view, you'll understand why Krishna says that mode of goodness means simple living and high thinking. How much time we waste in doing things which will not help us at the time of death. Whole our life we do only those things. It's like saying, that at the time of death, the number of toys with which I die is going to determine my success. Is it a true statement? Suppose the aim of your life is to get toys. And the deciding factor is at the time of death how much toys you have. It's nonsense, right? Whether you have one toy or 50,000 toys at the time of death, how does it matter? All useless. That's what we are actually trying to do in our life. We are trying to get some toys. Why am I using the word toys? Because when you were a small child, you were attracted to some toy. When you grew up, you found another toy. When you became an adult, you found another toy. Toy after toy. Toy kept changing, but your desire to enjoy with the toy didn't change. Until now, the life is basically how I can get more and more toys. But will any of these toys help us? No. And our whole life is just accumulation of these toys. Isn't it absolutely stupid, idiotic, and absolutely nonsense? That is what the material world is. Everybody is running mad behind the toys. Toy after toy after toy after toy after toy. What I'll do with these toys, I don't know, but I want it. What's going on? It's called as the rat race. Yeah. So therefore, all activities thereof must be dovetailed in Krishna consciousness. If we do everything for Krishna, then we will not run behind material things and toys. Without this blessing, all advancement of human civilization is like decoration on a dead body. This is also from Prabhupada's purport. Without blessing and sanction of Krishna, all advancement of human civilization is like decorating a dead body. How many of you have decorated a dead body? What is the point of decorating a dead body? There's no point. When the body is alive, then you can decorate. And there is some value. Like this boy is wearing nice t-shirt. So when you are alive, you can wear. But when you are not alive, will you come to know whether they are putting blue, red or green or no t-shirt on you? Does it matter to you? So if we do things which are not Krishna-centered, it's like decorating a dead body. Bhagavad bhakti hinasya jati shastra japa tapa apranasya dehasya mandanam lokaranjanam. This is the shloka which says that if I am not a devotee of the Supreme Lord, Bhagavad bhakti hinasya, if my life is full of everything, it's full of name and fame, it's full of beauty, it's full of strength, it's full of intelligence, it's full of degrees, it's full of everything. But it is Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya. There is no Krishna Bhakti in it. Then my so-called high birth, my so-called tapasya which I have done to get the Harvard degree or to clear the UPSC exam, and the so-called material knowledge which I have accumulated, it's like apranasya dehasya mandanam lokaranjanam. It's like decorating a dead body. This is what the acharyas say. Now moving on, the second part of today's discussion. Which mode is stronger? Which mode should we be in? How to get along with people of the different modes? And can we ever get free from these modes? So, which mode is stronger? The answer is no mode is stronger. Sometimes the mode of goodness becomes prominent, defeating the modes of passion and ignorance. Sometimes the mode of passion defeats goodness and ignorance. And another time, ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there is always a competition for supremacy. So, which mode is stronger? No mode is stronger. All are energies of Krishna, and in different times, different modes will act. For example, in the morning Brahma Muhurta time, which mode will defeat the other modes? Mode of goodness will defeat mode of passion and ignorance. The time after sunset, which mode will defeat which mode? Ignorance will defeat the mode of goodness and the mode of passion. That means in the night time after 6 p.m. only all these bars, all this gambling, all these illicit activities will start. How many of you have seen that some bar is opening at 5 a.m. in the morning and they are inviting early morning, please come, do some gambling, 50% off. Will anybody go if they say? Like sometimes in ISKCON temples we say, Mangalarti, 5 a.m. every Sunday, all are invited. Suppose if somebody says, beer bar, 5 a.m., 50% off, all are invited. Will someone go? No, because these things are happening only in the mode of ignorance. In the Brahma Muhurta, nobody thinks like drinking, nobody thinks like gambling, because mode of goodness is prevalent. Similarly, once it is night time, all these bars will flourish. And similarly, the time between sunrise and sunset, to work, kar lo duniya mutti mein, to get this, get that, defeat others, put them down, ye karna hai, wo karna hai, get this, get that. That is mode of passion. So which mode it is to be good to be in? That is the next question. Which mode should we be in? Okay. I'll give an example and you have to tell me the answer. Some people must have heard this, so don't shout the answer. Suppose there are 3 jails, jail A, jail B and jail C. And you have a choice to enter these jails. In jail A, there is air conditioner, nice bed, water purifiers and geysers, newspapers, television, refrigerators, washing machine, attached toilet, bathroom. Jail A. Jail B, no air conditioner. Refrigerator is there, newspaper is there, television is there. But all other things are not there. Bed is there, but no spring mattress, normal mattress. Attached toilet bathroom is not there. You have to share. Jail C, no bed, no newspaper, no refrigerator. You have to sleep on the floor and you have to share this room with others, other criminals, and no attached toilet bathroom, you have to share it with others. Which jail you will go? Jail A, jail B or jail C? Don't shout, I'll ask. How many of you will go in jail A? Okay, how many of you will choose to go in jail B? She'll go in jail B. You'll jail B, huh? Jail A is like too much, yaar. I have done some half murder. Why should I stay like that? My heart will not get cleansed. I appreciate it. So how many of you are jail B? 2 people. Anybody else in jail B? How many of you will go to jail C? I have done something very bad. I should suffer. Jail C. My heart should change. Jail C. You are raising your hand. 1 person in jail C. Jail A, really nobody wanted, huh? Huh? See? Intelligent person. He's telling, why should I go to jail? Jail is always a jail. Just because air conditioner is there and nice bed is there and newspaper is there, I'll go and stay for 2 years in a jail, huh? So similarly, mode of goodness is like jail A. Mode of goodness is like jail B. Sorry, mode of passion is like jail B. And mode of ignorance is like jail C. But ultimately, all these 3 are jails. Yes. Let's read some verses from 14th chapter. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakam anamayam sukha sangena badhnati jnana sangena chanagah. So I will request all of you to read the purport of this verse 14.6. I will not explain in detail, but I will just read it. O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than others, is illuminating. It frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode become conditioned. You see the word which Krishna is using. Those situated in that mode become conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. Sense of happiness and knowledge means I'm staying in Bangalore, I'm an IT professional, I have some knowledge, I'm going to job, I earn some money, I'm able to meet my expenditures, I don't have much struggle in my life. Why do I need to go to temple? On my birthdays I'll go. Why do I need to read Bhagavad Gita? I am a pious person. My grandfather had already read Bhagavad Gita. This is called conditioning by the mode of happiness and knowledge. All the engineers, doctors, lawyers, poets, they are conditioned. They feel happy when they write a poetry. They feel happy when they do some work. And they feel, oh, I'm very knowledged. And because they have been little pious in their previous lives, so things are coming to them little easily also. So they are conditioned by it. So when such people, when you go to them and give them the Bhagavad Gita, they will say, I don't need it. My grandfather already read it. It is there in my house. My grandmother had it. Like that they'll say. Once a person, very nicely, cleanly dressed, putting tilak on the head, early morning, 5 a.m., met me. I was putting up the table. It was 1st January. I was putting up a table for book distribution. So he came and he said, Namaste. I said, yeah, we are distributing Bhagavad Gitas. Would you like to take? No, my grandfather already has. And you please come to our temple. See, temple means those people who are papis and sinful, they used to come, they should go to temple. We are good people. We don't need to go to temple. Our temple is like, to just remember God once, that is enough. You see, he was waking up at 5 a.m., he was having bath. He was a retired army professional. Not that I'm against army people, but sense of knowledge and sense of happiness was there, and he was conditioned by it. And that conditioning was his major obstacle in life. People in the mode of passion and ignorance are far away from Krishna. But people in the mode of goodness, they are close to Krishna, but their back is towards Krishna. Are you able to understand what I'm trying to say? You didn't understand? Some people are very far from Krishna. Some people are close to God. They know something about God. They've been hearing about God. But they don't have any desire to do seva to God. Back is towards God. That is mode of goodness. When I go and distribute some books, during book distribution it becomes very clear. I'll meet many people, they'll say, hey, I'm a Brahmin. I don't need Bhagavad Gita. I'm a Brahmin. I already have many books. Some people will say, I need this Bhagavad Gita for my grandmother. And she knows only Marathi, so I need Marathi book. I said, but what about you? No, I don't need, I know everything. This is mode of goodness. Some people will come, I have come, if there are such people here, they should not feel bad. This is just for example. I have come here to put my child for the Gita classes. But what about you, madam? Or what about you, sir? No, I don't want. My child. I want it for my child. But what about you? No, I don't want. My child should learn the shlokas. My child should learn the Bhagavad Gita. What about you, sir? I don't want. All this is mode of goodness. See, they are in mode of goodness. That's why they are desiring that my children should learn. But their sense of happiness and knowledge is so much binding them and conditioning them that they have become such great fools. They think they don't need it, only their child needs it. It's like I have cancer and my child has cancer. Only my child should get treated for cancer. I should die. That's, I'm just trying to explain. How many of you will do this? You are going to die, your child is going to die. Both of you can be saved. But you desire that only my child should be saved and I should die. Is this a wise choice? Some parents do that. Only my child will study Bhagavad Gita. I don't have time. But I want my child to study Bhagavad Gita. I'll bring my child every class, then I'll go away or maybe sit for some time. And then again come back, pick up my child is studying. But they don't know that the child does what the parents do. Unless I become a good example, how can I inspire my children to become Krishna conscious? It is artificial, it is not possible, you are fooling yourself. And this will have a converse effect on your child. They will develop split personality. At home they will behave something else and at outside they will become demons. They will not be normal, they will become abnormal people. That's why it's very important that the whole family should practice Krishna consciousness. At least parents should try, that everybody should try I find this mode of goodness is more dangerous than other modes because it conditions you. You see, when Vaikuntha Ekadashi happens, especially in South India, there is a tradition that they make a Vaikuntha Dwaram. And what is the belief, or not belief, what is mentioned? That anybody who crosses this Vaikuntha Dwaram will go to. So sometimes when I was a little bit more innocent, I used to think that I will go with my Bhagavad Gitas in front of these Vaikuntha Dwarams and everybody will take. I wasted 2-3 years like that. On Vaikuntha Ekadashi, I used to put my bookstall in various temples, Balaji temples, Krishna temples, Chikatirupati and others. Literally people used to say, I don't need, I already went through Vaikuntha Dwaram. Literally people said, see, Vaikuntha Dwaram I have gone, now I don't need Bhagavad Gita. And before going, they'll do like this and go. This is mode of goodness. Now you are able to understand. It's a conditioning. Just like mode of passion, it's a conditioning. They are close to Krishna. They know Vaikuntha Ekadashi, have to get up, have bath, and come and cross that Vaikuntha Dwaram gate. But they don't want to implement Krishna consciousness. Therefore, I find these kind of people very dangerous. They'll say, I'm doing charity, I'm good, I'm not doing sinful activities. Why do I need to read Bhagavad Gita? Now, O son of Bharata, the mode of goodness conditions one to happiness. Passion conditions one to fruitive action. And ignorance covering one's knowledge binds one to madness. What is the result of being in these modes? Goodness will make you experience some happiness in life. But that happiness will be flickering. Passion will make you very obsessed with results, result-oriented work, hankering, lamentations. And ignorance will make you mad. So none of them are good. You should not be in any of these modes. You should be above these modes. So how to go above these modes, that I will explain later. But first I will discuss how to get along with different personalities who are in different modes. There will always be a person in every one of our lives who will test all our parameters to their extremes. Some people will think, oh, this person's life is easy. Sometimes people come and tell me, Arey Prabhuji, you are not married, you have a blissful life. You do not know what horrors we are going through or what pleasures or displeasures we are going through. People come and tell me that. I tell them, no, that is not the case. Just like you have some people in your life who are beating the pulp out of you, who are chopping your false ego. Similarly, I also have some people in my life. Krishna always sends who will chop off my false ego, put it in a mixer and grind it and make juice out of it. Everybody. So this is a valid statement. Purification is always there. In whichever ashram you are, whether you are a brahmachari or a grihastha or a vanaprastha or a sannyasi, or you are a brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra, always there will be sufficient purification in your life. However, in some ashrams purification is faster and in some ashrams purification is little slow. That is acknowledged. So there will always be a person in every one of our lives who will test our parameters to their extremes. So you need not name such a person, but how many of you have at least one or two people in your life who are really testing your patience to the core? Please raise your hand. I am already raising my hand. See, all of you are raising hand except this kid. She is not understanding what I am asking. So, how to deal with them? Should we maintain distance from such people? Should we become ruthless to such people? Should we try to manage them? Or should we try to become comfortable with them? The answer is this. Whenever we meet someone whose behavior, attitude, reactions and responses is not giving pleasure to us, then we should understand this 3.5 of Bhagavad Gita. Everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he has acquired from the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment. So whenever we see a person doing something abominable, we should not blame that person. Somehow, karanam guna sangasya, because of the association of the people he had, or because of the association of the environment he had, or because of the association of the samskaras of various lifetimes, he or she is in a particular mode of ignorance or passion. And that mode of ignorance and passion has made them helpless, and out of helplessness, without even choice, without even realizing, they are doing what they are doing. So when you have this kind of an outlook, then you will learn to hate the sin, but not the sinner. This is very important. If you start hating the sinners, then you will become a fanatic. Then you will become a terrorist. But if you hate the sin and not the sinner, then you can be of some help to everybody. When Jesus Christ was being crucified, Jesus Christ was praying, "Oh my dear Lord, please forgive all these people. They don't know what they are doing." That means Jesus Christ was still thinking that had these people not been in the mode of ignorance, they would not have done all these things. They don't know what they are doing. It's like the activities of a child. If a child comes and, like when I was a small child, my sisters were also small children only. So once we found a bundle of 500 rupee notes, and it was raining, and we wanted to make paper boat. So you can imagine what we did. We made 100 paper boats, and we floated it. And father came and he's like, "Where is the money?" And then when we showed that it is in the drain, in that drain, father became angry. He said, "Why are you doing?" Mother said, "Why are you scolding them? They don't know what they did. They just wanted paper, they found this paper, they made boat out of it." So we cannot punish the children for what they do. We can tell them, we can try to educate them, but we cannot really hold them responsible, because they don't know what they are doing. Similarly, people in the mode of passion, people in the mode of ignorance, people in the mode of goodness, they are doing things helplessly because they are conditioned by that mode of material nature. They don't know what they are doing. So when you have this kind of an outlook, you will become more patient in life. Then you will be able to understand why they are doing it. Now, this kind of a thought process is only possible when you yourself are not affected by the modes. If you yourself are victim of mode of goodness, mode of passion, or mode of ignorance, then it's very difficult. So how to get free from these modes? This is the last section of today's discussion. Please repeat with me. Daivi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mameva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. The only hope for getting freed from the material nature is to render devotional service to Krishna, is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. This divine energy of mind, these modes of material nature, these three Matajis, whose energy are they? This divine energy of mind, consisting of three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. it is not possible to overcome Maya Shakti. It is not possible to overcome the laws of material nature. But those who have surrendered unto me, Mama eva ye prapadyante. Those who have surrendered only unto me. The word only I would like to add here. Mama eva, because the Sanskrit says eva. Mam eva, not to anybody else. That means only to Krishna, only to Vishnu. Not to Indra, Chandra, Durga, Kali, Shiva. Nobody else. Not to your boss, not to Narendra Modi, not to the parliament, not to anybody else. You have to surrender to Krishna. Mam eva ye prapadyante. Bhayam etam tarantite. Those who have surrendered unto me can easily, you see the contrast. Krishna says earlier it is duratyaya. It cannot be defeated. But those who surrender unto me, easily they cross beyond it. That means the only hope is to become a pure devotee of Krishna. If this we cannot do, in whole life we will be either in jail A, jail B or jail C. And one jail always leads to another jail. Always remember this. You will never be freed from the jails. You'll just be rotating in the jail of 84 lakh species of life. So now all of you have understood how to get out of these modes. Practice devotional service. And if you do this, then what will happen? Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan Brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Brahman means above the modes of material nature. It is called as Vishuddha Sattva. Tamogun, Rajogun, Sattvagun and Vishuddha Sattva. Krishna and the pure devotees of Krishna and the entire spiritual world is in the Vishuddha Sattva. It is above. That's why one of the names of God is Nirguna. He is not in Sattva-guna, Rajoguna or Tamoguna. He is above the gunas. Therefore he is Nirguna. Not that he has no guna. One of the names of Krishna is Nirakar because he does not have any physical akar made out of Prakriti. Like you have a physical akar. Frog has a Prakriti. You have a Prakriti. Indra has a Prakriti. Brahma has a Prakriti. But he is Nirakar because he is above the Prakriti. He has a spiritual body, not a material body which is under the laws of material nature. Even the body of Brahma is under the laws of material nature. When his time will come, he has to die. That is his akar. But Krishna is Nirakar. He is spiritual. So when people are less intelligent, they understand Nirakar means he has no form. Nirgun means he has no qualities. No. Nirakar, Nirgun means above laws of material nature, above modes of material nature. Krishna has a Satchidananda form. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. Vigraha means he has a form. Satchidananda, eternal, spiritual and full of knowledge. Anadir Adir Govindah Sarvakarana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes and he was there before anything was there and he will continue to be there when nothing was there. Nothing will be there. Very recently I visited Rameshwaram and I was very surprised to visit one of the Divya Deshams there. It is called as Adi Jagannath Temple. So when they told we are going to Adi Jagannath Temple, I was thinking Jagannath deity will be there. But when I went there, I saw a deity of Mahavishnu, 400, Shankha Chakra Gada Pushpa. Very beautiful. Very, very handsome deity. transcendently beautiful. And he is the Lord of the entire universe. Therefore, his name is Jagannath. And then I was informed in that temple, very much contrary to the TV serials which we have seen, Lord Ram's Aradhya deity, or Lord Ram, worshipable deity, was Adi Jagannath, and not which we see in TV serials. Very next to Adi Jagannath temple was a temple of Santana Gopala Krishna Swami. I said, what is this temple? I went there, and this temple is there before Lord Ram has appeared. It was mentioned in the Santana Gopala Krishna Swami temple that Dashratha came here and worshipped Krishna dancing on Kaliya. Dashratha came and worshipped a deity of Krishna dancing on Kaliya and prayed to that deity that give me a son, and then he got Lord Ram. That means Krishna and Krishna's pastimes have been there and people know it. Some people say, Ram came before, Krishna came later. No. In every day of Brahma, Ram comes, Krishna comes. So Krishna's name and fame is eternal. Anadir Adir Govinda. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Dhruv Maharaj's pastime. When it's crores of years ago, Lord Narad Muni is telling Dhruv Maharaj to go to Madhuvan, and he's saying that the pastimes of Lord Krishna are eternally going on there. Go to Madhuvan, chant this mantra, make a deity of Krishna and worship. So from that I understood that Krishna, Anadir Adir Govinda, then I immediately chanted this verse of Brahma Samhita there. Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. Krishna is the source of all Vishnu Tattvas also. Krishna is the source of all incarnations. This I have learned from. Otherwise, how is it possible that Dashratha is going and worshipping Santana Gopala Krishna Swami temple? And I am not lying it. You can go to Rameshwaram and visit that. That place is called as Tirupannalli, something. Because Lord Ram had lied down there. It was very close to the ocean. So Darbha, Lord Ram had slept on a grass, on a bed of grasses, Darbha grass. And generally, when you go to Ranganath or all the other deities which are lying down, the Lord is looking upward. But in this, Lord Ram, when he is lying down, that deity has been made, he is directly looking at the devotees. And his hand is like this. He is calling, come. I'll give you my blessings. So Darbha Shayan Ram is the name of this temple. In that Adi Jagannath temple campus, many deities are there. Like deity of Sita is there, Lakshmi is there, Adi Jagannath is there, Darbha Shayan Ramar, Darbha Shayan Ramar. In Tamil they say Ram as Ramar. Similarly, this Santana Gopala Krishna Swami temple was there, inscribed in stone, sea stone, which has been taken out from the sea, millions of years old, that Dashratha came and worshipped here. That means even Dashratha knew that Krishna comes and he dances on Kaliya. So, the only way to overcome the modes of material nature is to surrender to Krishna and not to anybody else. And Krishna is Satchidanand Vigraha, he is Anadir Adir Govinda, and he is Sarva Karana Karana. So how we should do this bhakti? We should engage in full devotional service, not half. That means whatever is being told, we should try our best. And we should be unfailing in all circumstances. Not that I'll do only on Sunday, Monday to Friday I'll not do anything. Krishna consciousness is not a weekend activity. Many people think going to ISKCON temple, eating prasad and hearing to some katha is a weekend activity. No, you have to do it daily. Unfailing in all circumstances. Whether health is good or bad, you should do. Whether life is good or bad, you should do in all circumstances. Then if you can execute devotional service like this immediately, not that after 1 year or after 2 years or after 6 months or after 2 weeks, no, at once, immediately, you are above the modes of material nature. So we conclude today's discussion by this practical tip that modes will work for sure, modes of nature will work for sure, but the effect of it can be minimized. Hate the sin, not the sinner. Forming perception on people is destructive because people change. People change. When you get affected by someone, don't ponder it upon too much, because they are under modes of material nature and probably you are also under modes of material nature. So don't think much about it. Have a higher goal in life. Have a goal of attaining Krishna in this very life. The higher goal is very important. Until unless we have a higher goal, we will be very much disturbed by the temporary problems which we have in life. But if we have a higher goal, we will have that tolerance to go through everything. So with this, I would like to remind you of a few points. Since today we have discussed how to overcome modes of material nature in primary ways by doing japa, would all of you like to chant one round today? So can we arrange for the beats? So please listen to this. Desha kalartha yuktani hrit tapaso hit taposh hit tapo pashamani cha haranti smaratas govinda bhitani me. Arjuna, when he said that all my talents have become useless in the absence of Krishna, the next statement which he says is, when Arjuna is in that situation, useless, without any prowess, without any energy, without any talent, what did Arjuna do? He did this. He didn't commit suicide. He did this. What he did? He thought, now I am attracted to those instructions imparted to me by the personality of Godhead, Govinda, which was Bhagavad Gita basically. Because they are impregnated with instructions for relieving the burning heart in all circumstances of time and space. That means whenever and wherever you read the Bhagavad Gita, it will give you relief from the forest fire of material existence. It will give you relief from the constant torture coming from the modes of material nature. Krityadhyayato Vishnum Traitayam Yajito Makhaihi Dvapare Paricharyayam Kalau Tadhari Kirtanam. Whatever result was obtained in Satyuga by meditating on Vishnu, in Treta Yuga by performing sacrifices, and in Dwapar Yuga by serving the Lord's feet, can be obtained in Kali Yuga by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. These 16 names composed of the 32 syllables are the only means to counteract the evil effects of Kali Yuga. Evil effects of Kali Yuga means meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, intoxication. In all the Vedas it is seen that to cross the ocean of nescience, there is no alternative to chanting of the holy name. So with this we conclude today's discussion. We have concluded today's discussion. If anybody has any questions or comments, they are welcome. Before we start our japa.